The meeting was productive. Why was it productive? Because, for the first time in many years, we were able to hold official talks in the United States and convey our perspective and our position on a wide range of issues. These issues were not limited to any single topic. We really did have an extensive agenda, and our assessments, which we put forward from the perspective of our interests, were heard. That is useful. Incidentally, Congressman Van Orden and, of course, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna commented on the meeting using roughly the same words as mine. We were essentially on the same page because dialogue is indeed much better received. And there are good reasons to believe this, because it is very useful to discuss in full the issues related to the allocation of military aid to Ukraine in the United States of America, especially at a time when Tulsi Gabbard is publishing her report, stating that money sent to Ukraine via various funds was subsequently returned to the United States and used to influence domestic political processes. In essence, this was used to fund Biden's election campaign. It is despicable. We don't like it very much. The issue of sanctions is indeed important in that we must promote the interests of our economy and our people. The issue relating to Ukraine is undoubtedly important wherever we speak. We must highlight both the root causes of the conflict and the consequences it entails not only for the European security system, but also for the international security system. After all, issues relating to the dialogue between the two nuclear powers are very much in the spotlight. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke about this very much at the same time as we were in Washington. Indeed, the dialogue between the two nuclear powers covers all topics. To digress slightly from the usual agenda, threats to the security of one state will have a very significant impact on the interests of all other countries, indeed, of all humanity. And as responsible politicians, we understand this perfectly well. Therefore, our delegation went to Washington not to get some souvenir or receive a gift. That was not our purpose. We went there with a single exclusive aim, to convey Russia's truth and to protect the interests of our people. At this level, even more years have passed since the last visit. There's no need to start coming up with cliches now and saying that this is a thaw, a major breakthrough, or a historic visit. I'm always a bit of a pessimist. I tend to look for the bad rather than the good. Yes, if this marks a definite beginning, the start of a completely different kind of relationship, that's good. If it isn't, we won't be surprised. The most important thing here is that we establish channels of communication across various areas: diplomatic, business, parliamentary, public diplomacy, cultural, scientific, and educational. All of this is important to us because, to reiterate this point, dialogue is better than a blockade. Dialogue between two nuclear powers is important. It is significant that this realization has finally dawned. Let us recall former Secretary of State Antony Blinken's comments regarding Ukraine and Zelensky personally. Nothing but support, such benevolent words, such flattering expressions for the leader of the Ukrainian gang. All that was then. But today, representatives of the administration are actively and openly declaring to the whole world that Zelensky is a liar. This is important. It is important now because we must fight our enemy on completely different fronts, and such opportunities for parliamentary diplomacy give us that chance. Let us keep our emotions in check on the one hand, whilst on the other hand making the most of the opportunities available to us. If there is a willingness and an opportunity to engage in dialogue, let us try to make that happen. If not, we will not impose our own rules on others. We will defend the interests and rights of our citizens and our country. We have plans in place, and we hope that a visit by a congressional delegation, as well as an official visit to Moscow, will go ahead. Let us hope that we will be able to hold talks, meetings, and an open and honest dialogue, a conversation that is important, and we hope that all this will take place within a relatively short time frame. We will manage to organize this before the end of the current session of the State Duma.